In this video, I'm going to share with you some simple concepts and a practice that's going to allow you to shift your identity from your limited self to something incredible. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about an identity shift, repositioning your identity from your limited self into something much better. It's going to be super simple, and I'm going to be able to explain it. And by watching this video, you're going to understand it, and then you can make use of it. You'll recognize it in your own life because it's there already. Now, the first thing that we want to do is we just want to be in a position where we could admit that, you know what? My personal life is too limited. I would prefer that things were better. I get tossed around by my emotions time and time again. Situations aren't unfolding exactly as I prefer, and I don't like it. Life feels hard or difficult. In general, if you've experienced that and you can admit that, then that's the first step in this process. Now, the second step is, can you admit it's possible that there could be another identity beyond your personal self that you could adopt and live as? Now, I'm not asking you to prove it or to believe that it's real. I'm just asking if you can admit that it's possible. Look at what I'm asking. It's pretty easy to admit things that we can't see. Like, could you admit that right now it's possible that there's somebody on YouTube making a video about squirrels running on the roof of a building? Now, it's silly and it doesn't have anything to do with anything, but I could admit that it's possible somebody's doing that. See, get that feel for what it's like to admit something is possible. And use that feeling to admit that it's possible there could be, all right, fine, there could be some kind of an identity beyond my personal self that I could live as that would be empowering. Okay, I'll admit that. Now what? Okay, so at this point, we're going to do the actual work of repositioning our identity. And that means that we are going to do two things. We're going to recognize an identity that is different than who we are. And then we are going to make a decision to adopt that new identity as our primary one, as who we really, really are going forward from here on out. Now, this is all going to be a lot easier than it might sound. And the reason why is because everyone has this new identity already built into them. We've been using it our whole lives, but you have to recognize something in order to make use of it. For example, let's say it's cold outside and my head's cold. Now, if I didn't know what a hat was, I wouldn't be able to recognize a hat, put it on my head, and make use of it to keep warm, right? So descriptions help us recognize things so that we can make use of them. And in the same way, we're going to describe an identity that is different from our personal self. We're going to describe a new identity that's going to allow us to move from our personal self to somewhere else. Now, everyone understands their identity as their personal self, right? It's easy to know people by their name, by their birth dates, by their personal experiences, by their physical appearance, right? It's these little details that make us all unique and different from each other. It's a world of 7 billion selves. There's been over 108 billion selves already that have passed through this planet. If you counted all the characters in books and movies and whatnot, real or imagined people, stories, they create little selves too. Look at them all. At the level of self, we are all different. Like snowflakes, no two are alike. This makes each one of us so rare, so commonly uncommon. It's so good. At the level of self, that's to be celebrated. But still, again, it's troublesome as a self. We want to be able to take a position outside of ourself and adopt that as our primary identity. So what am I talking about here? What is this new identity? And so we need to have some descriptions of this new identity so that we can look at it and recognize it when it's around. Then we're going to be able to make use of it, pick it up, put it on, and become it. So just take a moment right now to become aware of the words and the sounds that are coming into your ears. The sound of my voice, you hear it. You hear the words, you recognize the words. But what is it in you that's doing all the recognizing? What is this inner observer that's hearing everything, that's making sense out of stuff? What is this thing that is actually alive, living inside you, looking through your eyes, living your personal life? Basically, we all know it as awareness. Yes, pure awareness, consciousness. You know, religions have called this thing different names. In Christianity, they call it the Christ within. In Buddhism, you might hear it called the Atman, right? It's an inner observer, a witness, the you of you. And if you really just get quiet and take a look and you ponder this, it's easy to see that there is some kind of an intelligent awareness residing in you as you, the authentic you, the real you. And you'll notice, if you are considering it, if you ponder it, you'll see it's been there ever since you can first remember. It was there when you were a child. And it's never changed throughout the years. It's been there through every up and down, through every situation, through every emotional disturbance, through every accomplishment. Whatever this thing is in us, this new identity, this observer, this awareness, we want to reposition our identity from our changing self, from our limited self, and move it into this unlimited awareness. This identity called awareness is inside everyone. We're all using it to observe this world of black and white, up and down duality. We're all using it to look through our own personal limited selves. Religions have called this the spirit or the soul. Whatever it is, it certainly is a lot less destructible as our physical body and our physical self and our changing circumstances and material items, right? So this identity is a safe or it's a better bet to go for when you want to become something new. So at this stage of the video, we've already described what this thing is that we are repositioning our identity onto. We're basically going to just decide or claim that we are now awareness, consciousness, an observer, living inside of a personal self called you, right? And from that new identity, that new position, we're going to be able to recreate our personal life any which way we prefer. We're going to have the freedom to take the actions on the new ideas that we imagine, and we're going to have the energy to have it unfold in our day-to-day life. We're going to recreate ourselves. This is where long-lasting quality change comes from shifting our identity out of limited self and into unlimited consciousness, unlimited awareness. When you work with this idea and get a feel for it and have some experiences as awareness, you're going to start to know and understand how obvious it really is that there is just one power permeating all people, looking through their eyes. You're going to understand this, and it's going to bring a sense of unity, a sense of okayness, a sense of wellness, an equality, a unity of our diversity. It's going to change the very shape of your existence. Truly, truly. Until a person has really shifted their identity from their personal self into their consciousness or awareness, there's no real reason to try to do any honest work on your own life. It is not going to stick. You don't want to become a better version of yourself. No. You want to get out of yourself to your authentic identity as awareness, right? And from there, we can then make changes that are lasting. That's where we want to operate from. We can engage our imagination and take actions on it. And we can hold true to our visions until they materialize. We can keep our high vibrating emotions at bay when we're disturbed by people and things around us, so that we can keep our new formations in place until they become solid in the world as personal experiences. So people ask me, Brian, is there anything I can do to start to practice and really get going on this shift in my identity from self to awareness? And I tell them, absolutely. You have a built-in practice that you can take any time in the day. Basically, anytime you are emotionally disturbed or confused, you want to pause and quiet your emotions by taking a few slow, deep, conscious breaths. Deep breathing is going to flood your system with oxygen. This is going to release endorphins. It's going to bring a mild state of euphoria or painkiller type effect when the opiate receptors in your brain open. In this new state of consciousness, with your body put to rest or put at bay, you're going to easily be able to start to feel and see and know what it's like to live as an awareness. Colors will start to get brighter. Things will take on new meaning, deeper meaning for you. And that renewing of the mind is going to be so incredible, because what's going to happen is you're really renewing your personal self. And it's from this new position that all of that renewal just naturally starts to unfold. And all the energy of it starts to flow. It's not something you have to force. It's not something you have to work at. It's effortless. It just comes. It's so cool. Look, you do not want to miss that. It is awesome. Incredible. And once you know about this new identity, it's permanent. You're not going to unknow it once it sets in. It's just the way it is. So the practice again is to pause and get calm by taking several slow breaths anytime you feel strong emotions or confusion. And in the stillness, you'll feel that sense of peace, and you'll just start to recognize that you are aware, that you are self-aware. And from there, get strongly rooted in that awareness, live more and more from that awareness. Before you know it, you'll be building a new personal self, one that lasts, one with real meaning and lasting power. You can find support for identity repositioning, this vital shift from self-centeredness to self-awareness, on my website, www.teachselfawareness.com. There's a free course there called Identity Repositioning. And if you go through it, it'll reinforce everything we talked about here. It will help you have a strong foundation of awareness as your identity. And that's just going to translate to more freedom, more power, more presence, and more peace in your life. So, enjoy your day. Enjoy your life. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your awareness.